For some time now, one would be forgiven for thinking that the whole of the Dutch F1 community was behind Max Verstappen. That was certainly the media narrative founded on the back of the explosion of Dutch interest in Formula One, after he became a high-profile title hopeful. This notion was fueled by articles such as those the BBC's Andrew Benson wrote in September 2021 titled, "Max Verstappen's Dutch GP win. I have never seen a nation get behind a driver in this manner." Either Benson was unaware of the flip side of his headline with regard to the UK's failure to offer Sir Lewis that level of support, or he meant it as a disguised attack on the GOAT. Nevertheless, it served to foster the narrative that the Dutch nation was united in support of the Belgian Dutch driver, like no country has ever been before, for their national hero. The article also helped to foster other narratives which we will be touching on later in this video. But, before going further, we would like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of what happened in Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. Now, back to the media narrative of a nation being united in support of Max to the level that some veteran reporters say they have never seen before. We invite our visitors from around the world to let us know if they have ever witnessed any host nation supporting the home driver on a level equal to, or surpassing that which the Dutch gave to Max at the Dutch GP of 2021. Are we to understand that the Spaniards never gave Alonso, or the Brazilians never gave Senna, or the Germans or Italians never gave Schumacher, the type of rousing support that the Dutch gave the uncrowned title contender? If we are to talk about the most passionate supporters in F1, how can the Dutch, who are amongst the newest entrants to the sport, be ranked above the Tifosi, the Brazilians, or Silverstone that regularly produces F1's biggest crowds? What about the Tifosi at any time a Ferrari driver is in the hunt, or the Brazilians at Interlagos, especially during the time of Senna? Home support has been a fundamental part of Formula One since the beginning, so it would appear to us that there was more to hyping up the home support for Max, as we will touch on later. But, let us take at face value the notion that the Dutch nation's support for Max was at an unprecedented level, never seen before in F1. What then are we to make of the fact that Lewis Hamilton is the runaway favourite for the 2025 driver's title, according to a poll that is currently being run by a pro-Max Verstappen Dutch F1 media? For the record, we are aware that it is not a given that domestic media always support the domestic champion. After all, Sir Lewis is more hated by the British media than any other media. We would be surprised if any other national media routinely parade people to hate on their champion driver, not to talk of one that bestrides the sport as the greatest of all time. This appears to be particular to the Brits because the trend elsewhere appears to be that the national media support the domestic champion or hopeful. But, if anyone knows of any countries where the F1 media hate on their champions, please let us know in the comments. We can authoritatively declare the Dutch-based GP fans as pro-Max, because we have been keeping tabs on them and other various F1 media outlets that have attracted our attention for gaslighting since Abu Dhabi 2021. Interestingly enough, the poll is being run at the bottom of an article celebrating Max buying himself a new jet. Can you imagine what the British media did when Sir Lewis bought a jet, years ago when environmental concerns were not what they are today? Definitely, nothing resembling the GP fans article. Our regulars may recall that we have routinely referenced them as one of the media houses that Toto Wolff liked to use to spread harmful and untrue narratives about his driver. They are featured prominently in our video, Toto Wolff caught in the middle of the latest campaign to smear Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari. With incendiary headlines like, "Wolff insists Hamilton changed mind over Ferrari switch," they attempted to suggest that the driver somehow betrayed the team principle by doing what every racer is entitled to do, which is move on to what they consider a better future. But their headline, Ferrari fears as Hamilton, not excited about racing, takes the top prize for scurrilousness. Propagating the outrageous notion that Sir Lewis was so demoralized by being so roundly thrashed by George Russell that he would most likely quit at the end of last season than go on to humiliate himself at Ferrari. So, as you can see, we have the measure of GP fans. Now, what does it say that this member of the gutter press, or prostitute, as at Jeffrey Morris 11 likes to refer to them, is running a poll that is showing Sir Lewis as the runaway favorite to win the 2025 title, even before any real testing has been carried out on the new cars? Is it that they forgot to monitor or doctor the results? Or are they just unable to withstand the red wave that is sweeping all before it? If you have any suggestions on why GP fans have made such a dramatic U-turn, please provide them in the comments section. It would appear that they are joining what is starting to look like a long line of prostitutes looking to make money off Sir Lewis and Ferrari. The likes of Sky, ESPN, and Planet F1 have started walking the Maranello Strip, and it would seem that GP fans have joined them. We have been monitoring the poll daily since we came across it, and the percentage of votes being cast for Sir Lewis are increasing daily. What does this mean? Why are so many, who have tried so hard to sell Max, abandoning him now, including his much vaunted home nation? Back in 2021, when he was just an uncrowned title contender, playing the role of pantomime villain as Liberty Media embarked on the process of gimmicking up F1 to resemble WWE, they claimed he was the most popular driver, with Lando Norris coming second. Now that he is supposedly a 4-time consecutive champion on the verge of a record equaling 5th consecutive title, his popularity has spiraled to the extent that he cannot even top the poll in his home country, where only 3 seasons ago they were supporting him at unprecedented levels. Again, if somebody can explain how this has come to pass, please do so in the comments section. What we are witnessing here is the collapse of the facade that Liberty Media and their acolytes attempted to gimmick up Formula One and Verstappen as. Andrew Benson's overhyping of the Dutch support as unparalleled was really designed to gaslight the unsavory booing of Sir Lewis, which took F1 down a dark corridor. As it turned out, Max and Red Bull, who had instigated the booing following the renowned bully being sent scampering by the GOAT at the previous race at Silverstone, ended up suffering the most as they were routinely booed at every race after the Dutch GP. The booing was so bad that Max and Red Bull, who had earlier claimed that their Dutch supporters were entitled to boo whoever they wanted and they weren't going to do anything to dissuade such conduct, started singing a different tune. The fact that the comment section to Benson's report gaslighting the unsavory booing that took place at the Dutch GP was turned off suggests that they knew what they were doing. Had it not been for that, the commenters would have ripped them to pieces for their atrocious conduct. It would appear that F1 and their acolytes are no longer willing or able to continue propping up Max the pantomime villain. In our previous video we showed how F1 declined to use his image in the thumbnails for their promotional video for the 2025 season, and now that Sir Lewis is topping a Dutch poll, we know how bad it is. Forza Ferrari.